Time now for the morning rush. The updated red to green framework shows all of New Mexico's 33 counties are out of the red. This is due in part to a rule change that gives some leeway to some of the state's smaller counties. They've adjusted the baseline population for counties with less than 6,200 people. This allows those counties up to 7 cases in a 2-week period and still remain in the yellow level or better.
Meanwhile, the metro is getting closer to the next tier. Despite remaining in the yellow phase during this 2-week update, the county's average case count has dropped below 10 per 100,000 people, but that's still above the 8 needed to go green. Other counties have moved into the green and turquoise. That includes San Juan, McKinley, Lee, Chavez, and Eddy counties. Guadalupe County, previously red, has also improved to green.
We're getting a closer look at APS's reopening plans. Students will follow the normal bell schedule, but APS wants parents to remember that school will look a little different this year. Among the changes, windows will remain open to circulate fresh air. Parents who don't feel comfortable sending their children to in-person learning still have the option to do online learning.
A new show at the Albuquerque Museum is showing how they put exhibits together. The exhibit, called Recent History Acquisitions, will explore the evolution of an exhibit. Visitors will get a chance to check out a variety of historical objects. Some of the items that are on display are a typewriter, COVID-19 piñatas, and some maps. The exhibit will open next weekend. Eric.
Already talking about our next weather maker here. A next storm quickly develops here over in Utah right now, but it will be moving up towards the north here for southern Colorado. We're going to be seeing more snow in the forecast up towards the northwest part of New Mexico as well as southern Colorado through tomorrow afternoon.
Bills approved during this year's legislative session are continuing to be signed into law. Senate Bill 52 lifts restrictions on unemployment benefits, allowing the state to offer someone help for longer periods of high unemployment. She also approved House Bill 22, expanding scholarship eligibility for teachers in training.
The city of Santa Fe is requesting nearly $2 million for more affordable housing. Mayor Alan Weber asked for an additional $1.8 million to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which he says the citizens have identified as a priority. Well, this will bring the fund to $3 million. The city may use that money for eviction protection or investments in new projects. The Sun-Port's seeing an increase in travel as more New Mexicans head out of state for spring break. They reported 9,300 travelers passing through last Friday, the highest since the pandemic began. That's still down from pre-pandemic spring break levels. Health officials warned the public of a potential spike in cases due to spring break travel. One New Mexico mayor says some of the most vulnerable people may be getting left out of the in-home vaccine rollout. 81-year-old Jorge Cruz Bautista is paralyzed from the waist down. Now, Village of Columbus Mayor Ezequiel Salas fought to get him vaccinated at home, but at the last minute, the Department of Health says he could not. Bautista is now fully vaccinated. It's after the local fire department administered the doses. Eric.
Not a bad day for the metro area today. Much calmer as we're going to be seeing that threat very low, but more wind this afternoon.
More than a dozen state attorneys general are calling on Facebook and Twitter to stop the spread of COVID-19 vaccine misinformation. A letter was sent to the company showing that a small number of anti-vaccine accounts are responsible for lies about the safety of the vaccines. Facebook says it's taken down millions of pieces of misinformation so far.
Walt Disney World is testing facial recognition software at the Magic Kingdom. Well, that's to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Software captures an image of a guest's face, then converts that into a number, which is then used to get into the park. The move is to cut down on people having to come into personal contact, much like they normally would during the old entry process. Many eyes were on Deb Haaland as she was sworn as the first Native American in the presidential cabinet, but her skirt took center stage. It turns out the ribbon skirt was specially made just for the day. Agnes Woodward in North Dakota was a designer. She's been making traditional ribbon skirts for over 13 years. She says each piece has a different meaning tailored to the person who wears it. Eric. Actually, let's get a look at that early morning drive for you. Here's some good news for you. No crashes, no major tie-ups on the interstates. Now looking at Tracker, we're going I-40 westbound. Right near 12th Street, traffic picking up just a bit, but again, no major congestion for you. If you own Bitcoin, you can now use that to buy a Tesla. It's according to a tweet from CEO Elon Musk. Well, this comes 1 month after the car maker bought $1.5 billion worth of that cryptocurrency. Musk says that Bitcoin used to pay for a Tesla will not be converted to regular currency. That option will then be made available to those outside the U.S. later on this year. Time now for the 5 facts. At number 5, a unique piece of clothing took center stage as New Mexico's Deb Haaland was sworn in as the Secretary of the Interior. Well, it turns out the Native American skirt was specially made just for the occasion. Agnes Woodward in North Dakota is the designer. Now, she's been making the traditional ribbon skirts for over 13 years. She says each piece has a different meaning, and the rainbow colors were meant to represent all people. The Cornstalk was a symbol of Haaland's tribe. That's the Laguna Pueblo.
Number 4 this morning, an Albuquerque woman is sharing her story of success in a new career after being forced to change paths during the pandemic. As Jennifer Rogers' husband was furloughed and her side job selling purses was no longer profitable, she decided to get her real estate license. She began working for Simply Luxury Real Estate and sold her first house in July, then sold 16 houses by Christmas. Rogers was named Rookie of the Year at her firm.
And one storm down, another one to go here as we go through later this afternoon into tomorrow. More snow accumulation for the northern mountains, the San Juans, as well as parts of southern Colorado. Pretty good snow totals for some parts of that region.
Number 2 now, the updated red to green framework shows all of New Mexico's 33 counties are out of the red, I should say, with 2/3 of them either green or turquoise. This is due in part to a rule change that gives a little bit of leeway to some of the state's smaller counties. They've adjusted the baseline population for counties with less than 6,200 people. This allows those counties up to 7 cases in a 2-week period and still remain at the yellow level or better. Officials say that these changes will keep them from bouncing back and forth.
And at number 1 this morning, APS is set to resume in-person learning in a little over a week. APS officials say that under the reopening plan, students will follow the normal bell schedule, but there still will be some new changes. Officials are asking that students come dressed in layers as they are going to be keeping the windows open. Cafeterias will be open for staggered lunches, but officials would like students to eat outside when possible. Also, everyone will have to come to school with their charged Chromebooks and iPads. And if you're able to find your own transportation, they say that is the best route because they are still scrambling to find some bus drivers to get kids to school.